How's it going, everybody? I hope you all are doing well. We are at the start of another brand new week. Mondays absolutely are the worst, but you know what makes a Monday that much better? A brand new Tokyo Ghoul chapter, and I am anxious, curious, and excited to see where Ishida is going to take us with chapter 159, because the last chapter with those blacked out last page panels with Kaneki kind of like succumbing to Rize's negativity and just her saying like you should not have done anything since the beginning. I'm wondering if we're going to continue with that conversation or if we're just going to move away entirely. I'm really hoping we continue with that conversation because I want more just between Kaneki and Rize, but if we do pull away, we'll either go to like Toka, Hide, the CCG, everything outside of Dragon. But the title for this week's chapter is the letter S, so Sesame Street is somehow involved. It's like this chapter is presented by the letter S, so I'm really curious as to why it's the letter S, but enough dilly-dallying. I just want to dive into this week's latest chapter. Let's just see where Ishida plans to take us with chapter 159. Okay. So just on the first page, we are continuing off with Rize and Kaneki. I am super excited about that. I am glad about this. Top dialogue is basically talking about how many volumes sold, with volumes 1 to 14, talking about the Tokyo Ghoul anime adaptation, and I'm kind of like hopefully optimistic on the adaptation, but we will see once April arrives. We'll see how that ends up transpiring and going down. But we have Kaneki passed out on kind of like the traditional Japanese house on like the front porch. Rize is sitting there. There's like a pond with the water surrounding them. That's a really cool atmosphere overall. And Rize looks like she's dressed in traditional Japanese attire, kind of like a kimono of sorts. Let's see. The scenery visible here pierces the retina with colors of a different sort. Okay, so that's the first page right there. Let's move on ahead. Rize, do you remember it? The first time we met. Who could forget that? Oh man, that's where the tragedy began. And Rize's been like, the way Ishida's drawn Rize these past 2 chapters, or 3 chapters if you're counting her little cameo 2 chapters ago, have been stellar. Rize has looked so good. The things we exchanged under cold steel beams, a terrible memory. Look, the people we have killed fill this ocean. As long as we are here, we will not be troubled by hunger. So we have people falling from the sky. It's raining men. And women. And children. So all the people I either Dragon killed, and I'm also curious too if this is like other people from Kaneki's past that he's killed that are kind of just filling up the ocean, but my best bet is that these are the ones that Dragon has killed. But I do like how Rize is kind of rationalizing this. It's like, if we just stay here, we will have a bountiful feast of just a never-ending rain of corpses just to devour on. So she's like still trying to like sway Kaneki into staying within this dreamlike state and not trying to get out, you know, to get back to his friends and basically loved ones. So, damn, Rize, you're trying your hardest right now. Next page. Not interested in looking, huh? Of course. Others may die, but you don't care. Oh my god, she's still being a savage right now. Not your responsibility. Basically saying it's like everything that's transpired right now, it's like you don't care. You don't care if other people die. It's not your responsibility, which kind of, when you look back at everything, it's like Kaneki has always tried to, you know, change his responsibilities, kind of like change personas, to where like his problems would not move on to his next incarnation, but they would still slowly nip at his feet and eventually come like chickens coming home to roost in a way, to where he could never escape his problems or responsibilities. And Kaneki, I understand, for I am the same. So Rize's saying it's like, I understand that because I am the same. I didn't care what I had to trample along the way if it meant leaving that house. In that house, only the chosen few seeds were treated like people. Blood. Blood was respected above all else. My blood was pure ghoul, unmixed, so in that house, I was inferior. The more human you had in you, the superior you were. Laughable, isn't it? My future was as a seedbed, a device for birthing children. She was basically just going to be the person to give birth to everything. The thought of it was so disgusting. I ran away, using him. Well, in the end, I was divided up into little pieces and locked away. Inside little coffins. Wow. That's that imagery right there. Because they captured her and then harvested her Kakaho, into building the 100 Ogai members. So damn, so it's basically like saying like little pieces of me got taken away and put into these tiny coffins, the Ogai. I like that imagery right there. That's cool. Their Kakaho were all from you, Rize? Kaneki, I thought you knew this. I figured he would have known this. I mean, Furuta told you point blank, I'm going to make 101 Dalmatian children with Rize. Next page. It is because you ate all of them that I am here now. I, rent asunder, and you have become one. So because he just devoured so much of Rize's Kakahos within the 100 Ogai, it's basically an essence of Kaneki eating Rize herself. So it begs the question is, how much of this persona in Kaneki's mind is just Kaneki forming this personality of Rize, or is this actually like the actual Rize? That's what I'm starting to think about right now. And because of that, many people died. I didn't know that it would turn out like this. Oh, so if one is unaware and unknowing, it's okay to kill? Interesting. No. You're lamenting this undesirable outcome, but the truth is you just didn't see it. You didn't even try to. You cut away just the pretty parts, tried to sip only the unsullied water. Page. Whether you wish it or not, blood is bound to flow. No, if you fight, that is. You could not have done that if you were not someone that feels no responsibility towards life, someone that couldn't care less if others die. No. How then? How were you able to do that? Because you knew you could blame your friends if need be? No. Because you were cruel? No. Trying to play the hero? There's no way the villain then. I don't know. You fought without knowing, without rhyme or reason. I just focused on what was in front of me, and that's why you couldn't keep up. He wasn't planning ahead. He was just in the moment. He was just looking, trying to focus on what was in front of him in that specific moment, which is why Furuta was able to basically plan everything around Kaneki so well. Ugh. Humans died, ghouls died. Will you atone for them? Will you not? How will you atone? Will you die? Disappear? And Kaneki's like grabbing his head. He just does not know. Why are you even doing this? What are you trying to achieve? What? Why? Stop, please. Why? Shut it. Shut up. Shut up. Just shut up, damn it. Let me think about things that have come and gone. You see it. You know. You understand why. Stop. Get out of my head. I just wanted to be needed by someone. Wow. That's powerful right there. That is Kaneki in a nutshell. His entire journey just wanting to be needed, wanted, and loved by the people around him. And he was willing to go to any lengths to achieve that. And since that was his main driving force, it doesn't matter what happened to him. Like everything that transpired with Furuta and the Ogai attacking, Goat organization, even if he came back and died but was still loved by everybody, he'd still be okay with that. But this right here just basically summarizes, this is a good summarization of Kaneki's character throughout the entire series thus far. He just wanted to be needed by someone. Ever since I had Mr. Yoshimura's coffee back at Inteku, the horizons of my world have broadened. I've made many ghoul friends, even after becoming Rize. Arima and even Eto chose me. Toka chose a life beside me. I began to feel like I was wanted. I was happy. I really thought I'd be able to have a place I belonged in both worlds. Just like you said, I didn't care about anyone else. I didn't care about the what or the why. If I just kept on fighting, I thought that someone would want me. We just have that one panel on Kaneki's hand right there. But now it's useless. Because of that, I did something so... Hey, you're the same as me. You'll trample everything around you if it means being able to comfort yourself. An irresponsible egotist. Wow, so they really are alike. Black goat's egg. Like mother, like mother, like son. I was about to say daughter. Like mother, like son, basically. If you lack the mettle to face your sins, you can stay here. Is this a fantasy? Is this world just a fantasy of mine? Am I unconsciously abnegating myself, like I did when I was Yamori's prisoner? Bringing back to the Jason torture. Full circle now. And what about you? You might just be a fantasy too. I have something I want to ask you myself. You came to see me once, didn't you? When I was starved and crawling about like a dog. You came to meet me and you said that after becoming the way you are now, you almost died countless times and you suffered endlessly. And yet, you didn't hate me. That's what you told me. Do you remember? And this panel brings me way back to that moment because he's dressed and drawn the same way. But you can tell that Ishida redrew it for this panel. He didn't actually, copy and paste it. That brings me back to that part. Wow. And I love that too, where like Rize is basically saying, it's like everything that I basically did to you, messed up your life to no end. You suffered so much, but yet when it came down to it, when you confronted me in that state, you didn't hate me. That's what you told me. That's awesome. I love that. That just goes to show Kaneki's character. And yet you didn't hate me. That's what you told me. Do you remember? I hate you, If I hadn't met you, I wouldn't have met with this fate either. Wow. Not holding back, Rize. I hate you, If I hadn't met you, I wouldn't have met with this fate either. It was strange that you didn't think so too. What about now? Do you hate me? What's his response going to be? The pain, the feelings that make you die inside, the sadness, they happened so that I could see the many things I did and meet the many people I have. They were necessary. That's what I think. So he's going to basically say, I don't hate you, or I do hate you, but I don't regret the circumstances I'm in. Let's see what he says. People that I'm glad to have met, and people that wanted me for who I am. So yeah, even now, I don't harbor any hatred of you. And that's why, yeah, I see now. I was happy. So he has now come to the realization. This is a big moment for Kaneki that he thought through his entire journey thus far, he's been unhappy. He's been searching for happiness, but he now realizes that he had it all along. And that is great, great character growth right here for Kaneki. I'm really glad we are not regressing, and we're actually going to be moving forward, it seems. I like this a lot. This conversation right here, he needed this with Rize. He needed this desperately, and I'm so glad we got it. So he's come to realization, I was happy. Next page. And we have a crack in the sky with all the people falling down, just splashing into the ocean. Kaneki finally looks up at them. So he's actually acknowledging now. He's looking at the bodies falling. And he just put his head down again. Rize looks at him and then says, so, you're going. Do you think you'll be able to cross this sea of blood? Wait a minute. Is it actually water now? Or was this blood the entire time? Ooh. That makes the whole water surrounding them even more interesting now. Because if it's actually red and it's a sea of blood, that's crazy. I would love to see it if we ever get an adaptation of this, what it would look like animated. If it is in fact a sea of blood, that is a really cool aesthetic. So, do you really think you'll be able to cross this sea of blood to look past your sins? And he just jumps back into the water or blood, whatever it is. I'll try to see if I can bear them. So he's going to face his sins head on. He's coming to terms with what he's done. Thank you, Ishida. He's coming to terms with what he's done. This was my main concern with Kaneki. Like, he had to basically come to terms with all the people he killed turning into dragon, because I feel like that was going to be the biggest obstacle for his character. The fact that he's doing that is great. So I'll try to see if I can bear them. I see. And he's swimming through the gates. Well, watching you drown should also be quite interesting. Oh my god, Rize leaving us with that last bit of shade. I want you to watch, or at least try to. End of chapter 159, next issue, What Lies Beyond the Sea of Sins. So we will continue with Kaneki next week, him most likely journeying to get out of Dragon. And the way I could see this happening too is that once Kaneki reaches the point where he, like, you know, re-enters his body consciously, I believe that that will be the moment when Toka is getting Kaneki out of Dragon, or at least has located Kaneki's body within Dragon. But this is a great moment for Kaneki because this is him coming to terms with his sins. With everything he's done thus far, he's like, you know what? I can't hide in this dream fantasy state anymore. I got to go back, be with everybody, and face the consequences of my own actions, because Kaneki throughout the entire series, every time he couldn't, you know, basically grasp or understand, you know, the actions that have gotten him to a state, he would always reanimate himself, go into a new persona, and then, you know, those problems would be pushed aside just for the time being, but they would still slowly come creeping back, and then he would just continue the cycle of like, well, I can't deal with this right now, so, you know, new persona, going to white-haired Kaneki, to Rize, to the Black Reaper, to the One-Eyed King. But now it kind of looks like Kaneki's like, no, I'm done running. I'm going to face my problems head on. That's what I'm hoping he does. But this is a great moment for Kaneki's character. Wonderful chapter and a great conversation overall between Kaneki and Rize. But it still raises a lot of questions. So I'm really excited just to dive just a little bit more into this chapter in my review. I just want to let you know, guys, my review will be later than usual. I do got stuff I got to get done today. So if I don't have my review out later tonight, expect it tomorrow at some point, but the review will be out. So hope you guys enjoyed my live reaction, guys. Leave your comments down below about what you thought about this chapter and where do you think Kaneki is going to go character-wise in these next couple of chapters, and how will he get out of Dragon? Give me your thoughts, theories, speculations down in the comments below. But until my review, either late tonight or early tomorrow at some point, I'll talk with you guys then. See you later, guys.